Hi, I'm Janae and welcome to Café Janae. Are you so busy that you don't have time for breakfast? Do you find yourself going to the boxed cereal aisle and filling up your cart and eating lots of sugar and lots of processed cereal? Well, you don't need to do that anymore. If you can just take an hour or two a month, you can make some cereal that you can use instead of boxed cereal, instead of your Cocoa Puffs, instead of your store-bought granola, instead of whatever you're using for your instant cereal. You can use this and it's going to taste better. You're going to feel awesome after you eat it. It's power-packed with nutrients, with protein, vitamins, minerals, and it's so much better for you. It's better for the environment, and you're gonna just feel great after you eat it. All it takes is an hour or two every month, and you'll have instant breakfast whenever you want. All right, let's make some granola. This is awesome. It's perfect for people with gluten intolerance or celiac disease, or people that can't have a lot of wheat products. This cereal is made with rolled quinoa, Quinoa. Quinoa is a grain that it's really high in protein, really high in calcium, lots of other nutrients in the quinoa that makes it a power food. We're also going to use a little bit of rolled oats. If you have celiacs or if you can't have any gluten at all, just leave the oats out. You don't have to put them in, and add a little bit more quinoa. We have some slivered almonds and some flour. Now, if you're gluten intolerant, you can use coconut flour like I have here, or if you're not gluten intolerant, you can use spelt flour or whole wheat flour or oat flour, whatever works for you. Flour just kind of binds everything together. So let's put this all together. 4 cups of rolled quinoa. You can get this in the bulk section of the health food store, and or like Whole Foods might sell it. You might be able to get it online. We've got 1 cup of rolled oats, and again, just substitute that for another cup of rolled quinoa if you can't have oats. 1 cup to 1.5 cups of slivered almonds, and some flour. It's about 1/2 cup to 3/4 cup of flour. I'm using coconut flour, but again, you can use whatever flour works for you. Just mix these up, and this is the base of the granola. Now, once you make the base, you put the syrup on the base, and that determines the flavor of your granola. So you can use maple flavoring and put in like pecans for maple nut granola. You can put in some chocolate powder and some like dried cherries for like chocolate cherry granola. You can put in walnuts or whatever you want. Cranberry orange is my favorite kind, so that's why we're doing this. But just know that you can take this base and add any kind of flavoring to it that you want. Alright, there's the base. Now we're going to make the syrup. We've got about 1.5 cups of honey here. Now remember, raw local honey is the best choice just because it's most easily digested, it's sustainable, and it helps with seasonal allergies. It's an antibiotic, antiviral. There's lots of great things about local raw honey. If you can't get that, you can use agave or some other kind of natural sweetener that you have access to. We have a teaspoon of salt, even up to 2 teaspoons of salt, just depending on how much salt you like in it. About a tablespoon of cinnamon. About 2 tablespoons of vanilla, about 1/3 to 1/2 cup of oil. Now in this recipe I use grapeseed oil. It's pretty neutral and it can tolerate the high temperatures of cooking. In all of the other granolas, I use coconut oil. Coconut oil is by far the best oil you can use for cooking. However, I found by sad experience that when you mix coconut oil with citrus flavors, it doesn't go so well. It brings out, it kind of creates really nasty flavor. So if you're going to be using citrus, use a different kind of oil like grapeseed. Otherwise, use coconut oil, and that's going to be your highest nutrition value and your best bet. Just gonna mix all this together, and then to give it the orange flavor for the orange cranberry granola, you can use orange extract. You can get that at any grocery store, or you can use an orange zest. So take an orange and just like zest the peel and throw that in there. That's gonna be a really mild flavor. The orange extract is going to be like a medium orange flavor, and I like to use essential oils. This is mandarin essential oil, and it just takes a few drops and it gives it a really pungent orange flavor, which I love. If you don't have access to essential oil, the extract works just as well. So, as usual, after we mix this all up, we're going to taste it. See how we like it. So you're checking for the sweetness, like, is this sweetness compared to the orange flavor, does that balance out right? Needs to be a little bit salty. And then just, you know, see if you have enough granola or vanilla flavor in there and enough cinnamon flavor in there for you. And for me, that tastes perfect. So then we just incorporate the syrup into the base of the granola. I'm not going to put it all in there first. Depending on which grain you use, it soaks up more or less of the syrup. So just start out with about half of it. Mix that in, and then you'll see if you need more than that. Now if you have kids and they're helping you cook, it's really fun just to get your hands in there and mix it with your hands. Helps you to bond with your food and get really creative and get a little bit messy. That's fun too. So this is a great recipe for kids to help you with. Alright, so it's going to be in the oven, lowest temperature you got, for about an hour, sometimes up to 2 hours, depending on your oven and what you've got in your granola mix. And just remember to stir it every 15 minutes. Now don't put the cranberries in until after it's cooked. You don't want to cook fruit, you just want to mix the fruit in as soon as everything else is cooked. Now if you have other things like seeds, sometimes I put hemp seeds in my granola, which increases the protein and the nutrient value of it. Anything with a lot of oil in it, like hemp seeds or sesame seeds, you don't want to cook those either. You just put them in when you're done, and then it won't destroy the oils in there. Alright, so we're going to put this in the oven, 200 to 250 for an hour or 2 hours, and stir it every 15 minutes, and we'll come back and see what it looks like. Okay, we're done. How does that look? I've already mixed in the cranberries, and so the granola is really dry. Put it in a bowl and add some almond milk. And this is a really awesome, satisfying breakfast. Amazing, way better than the granola you buy at the store. Thank you for joining us at Café Janae. I hope you enjoyed orange cranberry granola. Use your imagination, get creative. You can use that same granola base and add any flavor you want. So you could use maple nut flavor, you could use a chocolate flavor, you could just use cinnamon flavor with raisins, anything you want. Just take the base, get creative, and you can have infinite amount of breakfasts on hand anytime you want when you're in a hurry.